Now, one other experience I had in Skyrim that elicited the feeling of immersion was the first time that I took the journey from Whiterun to Windhelm. I was traveling by myself, and I left Whiterun later in the day. I started walking north into the Pale, and it coincidentally became nightfall right as I started getting into the really snowy forested area. Then, as I'm walking along the trail, I suddenly get attacked by a frost wraith out of nowhere. And I'd never seen one before, and I never saw one again for a very long time. So this event was stuck in my head for a while because I was curious as to what even happened. After I defeated it, I became acutely aware that the wilderness is more dangerous than I thought. I then debated with myself for a while whether I should go back into Whiterun and wait until morning, or if I should trudge forward through the dark woods. I decide that I'll keep going, hoping to find refuge along the way, or just to get to Windhelm quickly. And by sheer luck, I come across the Nightgate Inn, where I stay the night. I sit for a while listening to a bard play some beautiful Jeremy Soule tunes, and then I go to bed. The next morning, before I continue on my journey, I sit by the frosty lake next to the inn, admiring the glistening water surrounded by snowy mountain peaks. I felt like I could almost feel the cold morning air hitting my face, and I felt so at peace. And then I got up and kept traveling. But instead of continuing on the path I was on the previous night, I decided to follow a new path, feeling an urge to do some exploring. Lo and behold, after not too far of a trek, I find myself standing at the golden gates of Erkenthand. Dwemer names are weird. Anyways, at this point, I was flabbergasted, since this was the first time I'd ever seen a Dwemer ruin, and I thought it was the most beautiful thing. I was amazed by the shiny golden architecture and very curious as to what this even was, and why it seemed to be abandoned. Of course, after traveling inside of it only a little bit, I came across some bandits and discovered this place was a little too dangerous for me to explore at this level. But I made a note of where it was on my map and vowed to come back later when I could handle it. But boy, did that make my day. I thought those ruins were so cool, and for just a moment, I felt like I was actually living in this world and had discovered something that no one else had seen for hundreds or even thousands of years. By the time I got to Windhelm, I was excited to be continuing on my quest, but the quest paled in comparison to the journey I had experienced on my way there. The experience felt so personal, and I was glad that I was able to experience such a beautiful journey. Even if it wasn't really real, it felt real in my mind. The experience was genuinely exciting, and I will always remember it.